think of it this way. For simple math, let's just say your agency's profiting $50K a month. You want to spend 20% of the income. That's $10,000 right there. You can live pretty dope. You know, 10K, you could be super efficient. Use that money to even become a better person. Usually that's on top of the salary you're getting too. So maybe you're paying yourself 75K. So that 75K, 10K, I don't know. That's kind of how I see it. But being stupid would be, you know, the agency profits 50K a month and you're spending, you know, 30, 40 doing all this crazy shit. I mean, teach their own. Yo, what's up, guys? We are back with another YouTube podcast, the No Cap SMMA. Got Hayden on here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, basically what we want to do is just catch up with you guys, share some things that are going on in the agency, just overall in our life, and give you guys some content. So first off, something very different that's going on right now that actually came through us kind of doing some of these YouTube videos together is I somehow got Hayden to become our chief product officer at Digital Ox. We've been looking for someone for a really long time to be able to be laser focused on the machine that services our clients and really managing not only the machine, but the people that work on the machine and then the KPIs and numbers that machine spits out. And so this is really just a 100% innovation job. And to be honest, I've probably been trying to get Hayden to do this for, I don't know, probably like a year, maybe 2 years. How long? Probably like 2 years.
Yeah.
No, we're finally working together, and I think it's a huge win-win for both of us because first off, Hayden is extremely intelligent and good at marketing, Facebook ads, copywriting, go high level, back end, all that shit. He's the top G. So to be able to, you know, get him in our agency and working with our entire team, our team is stoked. Like our team from day one was like, fuck, this kid's smart. And so I'm super pumped up about that because we're working on the machine and making it better, making it go faster. And really what that's supposed to do is bring more people in the door for our clients and bring in more ROI and quality for our clients. So it's all focused on our client results. And that's a huge theme of this year is make the system better by innovation. Hayden, what's been your takeaway or have you learned anything from working with an agency our size with the goals we have?
Yeah, man. So yeah, just a background. So I've been working in about, I don't know, 2 weeks. I think we're pretty much on 2 weeks here. Right away, noticed a huge difference between my agency and Stevie's. Obviously, Stevie has more size, a lot more employees, which comes with a lot of department heads. My company itself doesn't have a lot of department heads, right? So it's really one person managing everything, which thrown into a whole different situation. And I couldn't be more stoked with how everything's running and some of the things that I've been dealt with and some of the things that I've been given, just like right off the bat, it's just like, hey, Hayden, we give you, you know, the opportunity to kind of do what you got to do here. Like, let's do some research and development. What do you think can improve our product? And just to be able to be in that position to actually have the time, effort, and energy, not to focus on running the company like Stevie's doing, because he's doing a great job of that and he can do that to the best of the ability, but just to focus on the product has been really, really cool for me because I've never really gotten just that opportunity. So some of the projects we're working on is Stevie's company is trying to get to 15 shows for every single client, meaning 15 people walking through the doors. So we're trying to go for the lowest hanging fruit, meaning, okay, what are the things that we can do to increase that number right off the bat? What are the things that we can do to increase that number that don't require any additional spend or money coming from Digital Ox or the client? Because anytime you raise prices, obviously there's some pushback there. So it's starting off with what can we do to get to those 15 shows without really changing much in terms of what we're already doing. Like what's one thing that we can just turn on over here that just brings in 5 more shows a month, right? So all the projects have been going into that, and yeah, how their company works is incredible. Like they're so focused on data, and I really like that. So every single research and development product has a spreadsheet associated with it And on the weekly meetings, we're checking those, making sure that this test is either viable or not viable. And if it's not, turning it off right away. If it's good, then we implement it across the board. And yeah, it's been awesome to be a part of. I've already learned so much. So it's been awesome.
Dope. Well, we're already seeing significant impact, and yeah, we're just gonna focus. Innovation's a big focal point of this year, and I think kind of the exchange here is one. We're speeding up our implementation of things because Hayden's sole focus is the managerial part of this machine, and then vice versa. Hayden's learning how I run an agency in multiple departments in a very effective, fast, and serious way that makes the boat go faster. So
just to touch on that point, like the managing style is something different than what I'm used to. Obviously, I only know my agency, but we definitely don't run such a tight ship as Stevie's company does, where everyone is so laser focused on one goal, and every test, every point of data is only going towards that goal. And that's huge, right? That's a huge lesson anyone watching this can take away right now, is like every single person, if you do have a team and you're watching this, needs to be focused not on their tasks, not on their day-to-day, but on the goal of the company. Like, what is the goal for this year? Does everyone on your team know that? Because if not, they should know that, and that's what they should be putting all their effort into every single day, because that's the only way you're going to reach that goal. And so biggest learning point for me right there is that off top of that.
So the overall company has like 2 to 3 goals, and then every department has either 1 or 2 goals of the highest contribution to those 2 to 3 goals, and everyone is bonused upon hitting those goals. And so every single week, it's organized chaos of the most outside the box thinking, the most organized, effective, push sort of strategy. And then we look at the numbers and see if they're improving, staying the same, or getting worse. But this is going to continue to happen from now to the end, because the more we just relentlessly focus on making the service better, the more we're just going to leave everyone in the dust. Yeah. And so that's the game plan. Super. So Hayden, it's February 23rd. We're about 2 months into 2023. Are there any wins that you want to share with everyone that you've experienced in your agency?
So yeah, so just the short 2 weeks that I've spent with Stevie's company, I've already implemented things in my agency, given it to my team, and gave them a task to do this. So the first thing is data. So jumping into Stevie's company, I saw so much data and analytics and everything that they're tracking. And I thought, this is a perfect opportunity to get my team on board with this. So I just implemented a bunch of spreadsheets, a bunch of data tracking to go over all our numbers, all our clients' numbers. And we've been iterating that on all our morning meetings super early. First thing we do is go through all the numbers, which clients are struggling, which ones aren't, what's the reason why. And then we're running tests as well. So we're doing lead quality tests right now, as well as copy variation tests, and everything's being tracked on a bi-monthly basis. So every 14 days. And then we're turning things off and on depending on that. And I got that exactly from you guys. So that's a huge win for us. Data has been something that I've stayed away from for a long time, but I know that I needed to do it. So I would say that's our biggest win this year, is just tracking everything religiously.
Yeah. So guys, there's 2 types of growth. Not all growth is just revenue growth and getting new clients. That's one type of growth that's super awesome, but the other growth happens underneath the surface. It's underground. And that's the growth of learning how to build better systems, be more organized, build a better team, be faster in execution, becoming more intelligent in understanding like what's the most important things, what to focus on. So there's underground growth, which is a majority of the growth. And the more growth you build underground, the more stable foundation it creates to build a fat agency with fat revenue, because you're super structured, very organized. So I don't know if that helped. I don't know if that analogy helps, but that's basically.
You could have said, so like, if I just put a point out there to everyone watching this, it's like, this is the most valuable piece of information you're going to get, is like, there are those big wins. Like getting a client is awesome. And that's what you should be focused on when you're just getting started. Because obviously if you don't have any clients, you can't produce any results, right? But getting to that point, take your wins as learning, right? In the past 2 weeks, I've learned so much information it's been crazy. And I take that as a huge win. I'd much rather have done these 2 weeks with Stevie than for someone to just give me 20 clients right off the board and to think my problem was solved, because now I'm learning that there was flaws in the system, there was breaks in the system, and now we're cementing those up, fixing those potholes, right? And now the road is working. So I think it's just, yeah, sometimes those, and they don't come in a monetary form.
Dope. So big win for myself, not only in the business, but personally, is I've been in the game now for over 5 years, and finally up to this point, I just got off a 2-week vacation where I literally didn't work at all. And so this is the first time in my agency career as a CEO where I've built the team and built the systems and the ferociousness to win in sales and client results, and everything being so streamlined and so effective and so in rhythm. We have a huge growth culture, which Hayden could probably touch on, that when I left, I was completely not even one worry in the world of, is the business gonna be okay? Is everything gonna be okay? I just got back 2 weeks. I was in Colombia, had a fucking amazing time. Highly recommend going to Medellin. Was out there just completely off the grid, let my mind totally resettle, because I had a super intense last 4 months. I did 75 hard. I was working insane. And it's just a big win that I was able to come back. And to be honest, February is going to be our biggest month ever. And I wasn't even here 2 weeks.
That's crazy.
I was gone for half the month. We're going to have our biggest big month. So
it's because I took over as CEO. Yeah.
But this is not to brag, guys. This is to say, like, this is me 5 years in the mix to get to this point. You know what I'm saying? And so it's a huge personal win, big business win. We got a lot of momentum coming in. We're getting a lot of clients. Our churn is low. I think right now we're at like a 4.5% churn or some shit like that. But
really quick, just a great point. Unless you want to finish up your point really quick.
So
I was going to go into, like, you talked about, 5 years down the line, they're able to take this, this 2-week vacation. What, made you push it back so much? Was it the drive, or was it like, because I know you were doing sales for a long time, right? And you got some pushback from that, from probably other mentors and stuff that you've been working with in the past. And I think you talked to me about it one time. So what was that transition like in terms of sales and giving that up? Because I know that was your like main position, and he was like CEO running the company and taking the sales calls just because you were the best at it, or what was your reason?
So I mean, we've had a sales guy, and basically I've been removed from sales. I was removed for probably like 9 months, and then shit happened. He's no longer with us, and so I had to get right back in the saddle. So yeah, it's kind of like had one, lost it, got back in the saddle. It was probably the best thing ever, because when I returned to sales, I innovated our sales process and how we do the whole front end thing. Like, I took it completely night to day. So what it is right now is absolutely savage, insane. And I just was able to build it from being in the trenches. Now that I'm crisped it all up, made it so fucking perfect. We just hired 6 weeks ago one of the top salespeople at Constant Contact. Shout out to Kyle. And he's fucking killing it. He's absolutely killing it. And so being able to basically dip the country and know that we have a sales machine, sales killer, everything's running super crazy. It's just good. It just
Oh yeah, dude.
kind of
Let's touch on traveling a little bit. I'm a huge fan of traveling. I went to Ecuador last year. Talk about your trip to Colombia this past 2 weeks. Was it nice? Were you able to just chill the whole time? Did you work at all?
Yeah, I didn't work at all. Like, I'm telling you right now, when I left with the mindset of like, we've put so much work into systems, operations, culture, value, understanding like the standards and everyone being aligned. So much work has gone into that like there was nothing for me to even worry about. I didn't work at all. Like zero.
Yeah, I think the team actually, we all tracked the data. We did like 2 weeks before Stevie left, 2 weeks after Stevie left, and the company did better 2 weeks after you left.
That's great. Perfect. Perfect. Cause I'm going to Colombia again in a month. So maybe I'll just stay for like a month this time.
Yeah, straight up.
Oh shit. That's funny. But,
You pressure, pressure.
sick. Went with a bunch of homies from, middle school, high school, real spicy city. So that's dope. Now I'm back in Fort Lauderdale and I'm actually a little inspired to, move down to Miami. So I'm actually going to move to Miami in, May. Switch it up a little bit. One thing, guys, is switch up your environment. I fucking love switching up my environment. Like nothing excites me more than going to places where I have to like re-meet everyone or like I don't know anyone. It just kind of like brings this whole new energy. And I'm about to do it again. So I'm about to move to Miami. I highly encourage you guys if you're stuck in whatever town or city you're in, or you're just bored. Maybe the chicks suck. There's no talent. Just whatever. Get out. Go somewhere different. You know what I'm saying? You're not cemented there. And if you don't like it, you can always move back. So I highly recommend change, moving, meeting new people, and
Okay, how did that come about? Miami. Why Miami? I know it's pretty close.
yeah, I live 30 minutes from Miami, but why Miami? I don't know. I just kind of like something about that Latin vibe, bro.
We're learning salsa dancing, so
Latinas, man, you know.
yeah.
No, man, there's just something
talent.
about it. Something about it.
A lot of talent, huh?
But yeah, let's jump into some of these Q&As.
All right, let's do it. So, all right, so we're gonna end it, guys, here with a little bit of Q&A from Stevie's channel. So Josh AOZ number 3 said, "Hey Stevie, thanks for staying consistent with these videos. Could you please talk about how you take cash from an agency, short-term and long-term personal experiences and strategies? Thanks in advance."
Yeah. Okay, so I don't have like a super strict strategy here, because most months I'm like way conservative with how I spend cash. But basically, to give you like a short-term strategy, I never spend more than like I'll never spend more than 15% of agency profit on a month. Like that's a super high level. I know some people say, hey, you could spend 30% of the income on whatever you want. It really depends at what level you're at, but I don't need to spend 30% of the income. I mean, that's like, kind of just spending a lot of money. So for me personally, what I look at is 15% max. Usually I'm in more of like the 7 to 8% of the income is spending on my lifestyle. Guys, if you have money, like make sure you're spending it wisely. I have personal boxing trainer. I have a chef. I do personal training in fucking salsa. I get massages. I just kind of have all these things that I spend on that are like actually making me a better person. Outside of that, I like to eat out. That's it, bro. Like, and then obviously you got these trips here and there that if you're working your ass off, you go 3 months hard, you take that week off or those 10 days off and you're about to go somewhere, treat yourself. You know what I'm saying? I think Hayden thinks the same thing. Like, don't
100%. Like, you're doing all this hard ass work. Like if you're actually putting in the work and you've done, the amount of time necessary, like obviously if this is your first year, you can put your head down and grind. You can't just go take a vacation. But I mean, I've done it all the time where I go somewhere and I go on a trip, I get invited somewhere. I'm going to go, I'm going to go have a great time, but I'm also going to work while I'm there. Now, Stevie's had the opportunity to do that for 2 weeks. Last year, I went for 5 weeks in Ecuador. I brought my laptop, but I worked maybe 10 hours for 5 weeks. That was crazy. That was really difficult. but I got that done too. But let's go back to the Q&As though, just a little tangent there.
Yeah, so for short term to make it super simple, I think probably don't spend more than 20% of the net profit that the agency brings in. And that's kind of going to go into the long-term strategies, right? Like ideally the goal is to spend cash, live what you need, treat yourself, do all that stuff. And then all the cash that you're going to stack, have that there for rainy days, to invest in your agency, to invest in real estate, to invest in other things. But the goal is to have money.
From a smaller agency perspective, I don't really touch most of the profits that I make that are in there. I'll wait till a quarterly basis and then take a distribution if need be. Honestly, I'm pretty chilling right now, so I don't really need to take out money of the agency. I'd rather have it in there in the agency savings account, just stacking up. Because think of it this way, agencies come and go. A lot of agencies come and go. You can have a stack and you're in this for the long haul, and you're not taking money, you're not being stupid with your money. It's in there, it's stacking up. You can make proper investments in your business and level up your business while other people are dying off because they're not smart with their money. So Stevie can make some crazy big moves right now if he wanted to. I'm not saying he's going to, but he could because of the amount of cash flow that he has in his business. And if people were to get laid off for a couple months, he'd be fine. Let's say another COVID hit, Stevie would be chilling for a little bit. He can still pay his team. He can still do what he needs to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So think of it this way. For simple math, let's just say your agency's profiting $50K a month. You want to spend 20% of the income. That's $10,000 right there. You can live pretty dope. $10K, you could be super efficient. Use that money to even become a better person. Usually that's on top of the salary you're getting too. So maybe you're paying yourself $75K. So that $75K, $10K, I don't know. That's kind of how I see it. But being stupid would be, the agency profits $50K a month and you're spending, 30, 40, doing all this crazy shit. Teach their own.
Yeah, whatever you want to do. All right, we're not knocking your hustle. All right, so Steve Knez 105 said, "Hey, great video. Look, I want to start an SMMA and run Facebook ads, but I have no idea how to learn them. Do you have any tips?"
Yeah. Learn Facebook ads. So I think there's some awesome YouTube channels out there that teach you Facebook ads. I think so. One of them is Joel Kaplan. Type in Joel Kaplan. I'm pretty sure he teaches like the bottom ground up to Facebook ads and how to do things, which is super valuable, right? I mean, if you're starting off, you need the step-by-step tutorial and stuff like that. And I'm not going to be going over any of that stuff. So going to someone like Joel would be perfect. Probably more guys out there. Any other?
I'll probably be doing that eventually on my channel because I'm making a little bit. So
Hayden's plug,
Yeah, but it's really easy. There's so many videos. I wouldn't say it's easy. The ground level of it is very simple. Like getting an ad up and running, having it generate leads is a very simple process. Now, doing that well and doing that with quality leads is a whole nother story. But go to YouTube right now, type in how to run lead generation Facebook ads. Watch the first 5 videos, because don't just take one person's advice. Watch the first 5 and just implement it. Especially if you already have a client, implement it right away and you'll be good to go.
Yeah.
So on to the next question. Stevie, you have any more points for Facebook ads? No. Good. All right, this is a little longer one. So Alejandro Baptista 2644 said, "That was awesome." These all start with like great video. That was awesome. He said, "Hey, I currently run a lead gen agency not focused on any niche. We're currently doing 60K. I think some topics that might be interesting would be, what are your objectives in a 5-year time frame?"
This is a good question because this is like long-term thinking. I wasn't even thinking in 5-year time frames until like maybe 2 years ago because I was so focused on just getting clients and getting money in my bank. But now a 3 to 5 year time frame is building the agency to be able to sell if I want to sell for the price that I want. So my objective really like in the next 2 to 5 years is to have the agency at least at a $5 million a year net profit. So that if I did want to sell and I did put it on the market, I could easily, get the number that I want, which is multi 8 figures. But that's my goal, is exactly what we're doing now and just keep scaling it have such a solid asset that's just growing, and be able to sell it if I want to.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Love that. In terms of personal 5-year goal.
Personal 5-year goal. So, I mean, I don't have like a laser focused 5-year.
Shit you want to do, shit you want to accomplish, but that's not business related.
Not business related 5-year goal. I mean, realistically, I have like, I'm only looking a year on out on like my personal stuff. I want to invest in some commercial real estate this year and start to build my commercial real estate portfolio. My goal is to stick to boxing, get real crispy there with the hands, continue dancing, salsa. What else do I do? Oh, I golf. So my goal is to just be, low handicap, shooting consistently in the 70s. Yeah, just work and still be athletic and still challenge myself in the athletic stuff and meet awesome people and make money and travel and shit.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. Well, I think that's it for questions. Here we go. There's one more. So here we go. Robert Janik 1617 said, did you scale to 7 figures with just cold email, or was it other avenues? And I think he's talking about outreach.
Our first year we hit 7 figures was in 2020. We did 1.3 million, I think. And that year we scaled on cold email and client referrals. So we got a ton of client referrals in 2022 just because we really started to separate ourselves from everyone else in terms of how we were handling our turnkey SMMA appointment setting and all that type of stuff. So we really blew up there. Had a lot of like organic growth and kept on a lot of cold email, to be honest.
I think, it's different for every niche. Like for my niche, cold email doesn't really work that well. At least my experiences, there could have been a lot of different factors there, right? So it depends on your niche. So try different outreach methods and then just put all your effort and energy into the ones that are working. And don't just focus on sales. Sales is really important, but focus on the product because you can make all these sales, right, Stevie? If you were just push out a shit product back then, you wouldn't have gotten your referrals. All the clients would have came and left, right? So
yeah, so things are different now. From 2020 to 2023 now, things are way different. Like the way to get clients quick is to have an offer that's so no brainer and so low risk for the client. That's the easiest way. But the only way for you to deliver on that guarantee or on that promise and not have to refund them is to actually have a system and a service that fucking works, and that's really good. So when you put a majority of your time into how can I build something where 9 out of 10 clients are going to retain, then you have so much trust that the more people you bring in, even on really good guarantees, or maybe it's a free month or whatever, they're going to want to continue to work with you because it just makes sense for them to work with you and pay you because their business is now running better. They're getting more clients, they're getting more, etc. And they like working with you.
all right, Steve, that sounds good to me. Well, appreciate your time. Hopefully everyone learned a lot from this. I did for sure. Is there any last points that you want to address before we end this thing?
No, if anything, leave any comments below on like any Q&A you want us to cover, since we're gonna be doing more of these videos. Like, subscribe, all that type of stuff, and then also connect on Hayden's YouTube. You could drop that, Hayden.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll leave the YouTube in the description. I'll send it to Stevie so he puts it in his description. And then, like I said, we want to do one of these videos too that's just all Q&A when there's more questions. So ask some insightful questions. Anything that you're struggling with your agency, let us know. We'd be happy to give you some advice on that. So leave those questions below, and in the next one, we'll go over some more Q&A.
Word. All right, guys. Peace.
Peace.